Welcome again to Recipe Time. My name is James Clark, the executive chef here at Carolina Crossroads Restaurant at the Carolina Inn. We're coming to you today from our beautiful Old Well room, our signature room here at the hotel, where we have a lot of lovely weddings and parties and festivities here, which are always exciting. It's the holiday time. Thanksgiving season's upon us. And so today we are going to do a recipe with sweet potatoes. And if you didn't know, sweet potatoes are the official vegetable of North Carolina, and North Carolina produces more sweet potatoes than any other state in the U.S., where over 40% of the sweet potato crop is grown here in North Carolina. A little bit closer to the coast, but again, it's something certainly to be proud of. Mississippi is second, by the way. So we're going to make a sweet potato bisque for your holiday table. So I'm going to start the sweet potato bisque. I've already got everything cut, and I've got about 2 carrots here that are peeled and cut, a half an onion that's been peeled and diced, and then about 4 sweet potatoes that have just been simply peeled and then chopped. And then again, we're going to puree this soup, so a lot of it can just be rough chopped. It doesn't have to be perfect. So first we're going to start, and I'm going to put about 2 tablespoons of olive oil into a pot, a heavy-duty bottom pot. And I'm going to sweat my onions and my carrots down. And I'm going to add just a little bit of garlic. And what you're looking for is you're looking for your onions and your carrots not to have too much color on them like caramelization, but just to be sweated down and soft. And it takes just a few minutes. While that's sweating down, and once they get soft, you can add in your sweet potatoes. And what I like to do before I start adding my liquid is I like to coat the sweet potatoes in a little bit of that olive oil and sort of let the flavors of the onion and the carrots and the garlic sort of coat them on the outside and let those flavors marry. And I just want to make sure that also everything inside the pot continues to stay hot. So now that they're well coated, the glaze with just a little bit of white wine. And again, with keeping with that pan nice and hot, I'm going to let that wine reduce to about half. And then once about half of the wine is gone, I'm going to add some vegetable stock. And you could use chicken stock too if you wanted to, but I'm going to keep it vegetarian today. And then I'm going to add some heavy cream. This is Maple View Farms Heavy Cream, which is a local provider of dairy. And then now it's just to sit and wait and let it simmer. And what you want to do is you want to don't want to let it boil too hard, but you want to let it simmer. And so that the potatoes and everything will start to cook and all those flavors will start to marry together. And you want to cook it until the potatoes are nice and soft. So while that's cooking, we're going to get our chantilly going. Now, I've got a cold bowl and some more of that heavy cream. So there were 2 cups of heavy cream that were added here. And then I saved a cup of heavy cream for the chantilly to finish the soup. And if you can do this in your home mixer, or you can do it by hand. But I'm just going to mix it, and I'm not looking for a heavy whipped cream. I'm just looking for it to be slightly thicker than the cream, because I don't want it to be, when I put it in the soup, I want it to sort of run around the soup for a nice looking effect. So when I've got it about halfway there, when it's a lot thicker, I'm going to add just a little bit of bourbon to it, about 2 tablespoons. Save some for drinking. All right. And then I'm going to add a little bit of vanilla extract. Now this is homemade vanilla extract that we make here, that our pastry chef makes, and I'm going to put a dab of that in there as well. And then I'm going to go back and I'm going to finish stirring it till it gets to be a little bit thicker. And again, this can be done by hand, or it can be done in your mixer at home. We're going to go back over to our soup. So I've got this one started, but I have one ready to go so that I can show you. And you can see that it's cooked down and and the potatoes have gotten nice and soft and they're starting to break up a little bit. You don't want it to take it too far to where the potatoes are mushy and that it just looks like a pile of mush. You don't want to take it quite that far. You want to make sure that the integrity of all the potatoes are still there. And what we're going to do is we're going to set this up to blend it in our blender. Now this can be a little tricky because you want to be careful because the pot is hot, of course, and so is the soup. So you want to be very, very careful that you don't overload your blender at home. Now if you're lucky, like we are here, have a Vitamix blender, then those of you in the world out there are good. If you don't have a Vitamix blender, that's okay. Just put your blender set on puree. And again, do not fill it up all the way to the top. And I just ladle some of it in there, and I'm trying to get an equal amount of potatoes to about 1.5 times the liquid, so it'll have that soup consistency. And again, if it gets a little thick, then you can just add just a little bit more vegetable stock. All right? So we're going to spoon a little bit more in there, and just a little bit more. All right? So you can see that it's about half full and not all the way to the top. Then we're going to put the lid right on top, and again, you don't want to build the pressure up, so don't put your hand on it too tight because it will explode. But I put a towel on it just to be safe, and then I start it on low. And then turn it on high. All right. So to finish, we've got our bowl. And before I put it in the bowl, this is about the time where I like to season. And I'll season between each one of the purees to make sure that my seasoning is correct all the way through. So I'm going to give it a little bit of salt and pepper. And then I'm going to put it right back on the blender for just a second. Get that mixed up in there. And then I got this beautiful North Carolina sweet potato bisque with a gorgeous fall color. And I'm going to put just a little bit of dollop of the chantilly around. And that's our sweet potato bisque that's coming to you today from the Old Well here at the Carolina Crossroads Restaurant and Carolina Inn. My name is James Clark. Thank you so much. I hope you have a happy holiday.